Welcome. Hi. Thank you for being here. I'm Luca Bergero, and I'm an Italian coach and facilitator. My main focus is the people side of the organization, or let's say my main passion is Agile HR. That's why I collaborate with multiple HR teams in different contexts. My talk today is about career in the Agile organization, and I want to cover this topic through two main parts. In the first one, I'll talk about my idea about career, how this concept of career is changing, and the challenges related to this change. In the second part, I will talk about my approach, not because I consider it as a received, no, but because I think that it could be a good example on about how Agile is going towards HR or vice versa. So why I talk about career? Well, when you start an Agile transformation, you usually start with the definition of the team, the introduction of practices like Scrum or Kanban, the definition of the physical spaces, and then you quickly realize that the impact on people is deep. It's very common to receive questions like, what about my role now? Or what about my career now? The topic of role and careers is a prevailing one in many companies, but for HR in particular, it's not that easy to find the right answer at the right time. Yesterday, Pia Maria and Natab shared with us a lot of interesting ideas about Agile HR and Agile people, and I agree that the way the way of doing and being HR is changing a lot. I would say that the main goal for HR today is to foster flexibility and adaptability, to foster that kind of collaboration and trust that we need in the teams, to support the people in their new roles, to take better and faster decisions when needed. So from one side, it's extremely useful to start using Agile practices in HR to be able to respond to the changes and to the challenges of HR, to respond HR customer needs in a better way. On the other side, it's extremely needed to update main HR processes like performance management, rewarding, and career, obviously. Why? Well, because it's really hard to promote trust and collaboration if you are surrounded by a system and processes that go in the opposite direction to secrecy, individualism, and bad competition. So I'm going to share my idea about a new paradigm of career. Let's start with some numbers. 60% of the people would change their career path, and 85% of the employees worldwide are not engaged or even actively disengaged in a job. This is a very popular number from Gallup. At least in the companies I work with, it seems that almost everyone is unhappy with their career, who is looking for a more traditional career, a more vertical career, has fewer opportunities because of the new organizational models, who is not interested in that kind of career, but just want to do what he's doing, maybe in a better way, is not able to find a really convincing answer. If we think about it, the need for a satisfied career is quite recent. For centuries, the people were too busy struggling to meet their basic needs, to worry about their career or their talents. Today, prosperity creates some space to look for something different, something more from our professional life. In a certain way, we solved some important problem, yeah, but something new emerged. So let me ask you a question. What is career for you? Just give me some example. What is career for you? It's growth? It's a goal? It's development? It's passion? It's a journey. Anything less? Okay. What you told me looks like very HR. Are you from HR? Yeah, good. It's a bit HR-ish. When I speak to the people, my friends, my relatives, people I meet in the organization, when I ask them, please tell me what do you think about career? They told me something like this. Typically a better career, to be honest, means more money, more benefits, the right parking lot close to the entrance, a new telephone, something like that. More responsibilities, yes, I gain more money, I can get more responsibilities. And in particular, more people below, obviously. It was funny, let's say, I was talking with a group. I said, more people below, why? That person told me, when I apply for a new job and I get an interview, they ask me how many people are below me. Wow. My feeling is that you're looking for the wrong company. But by the way, that's my opinion. So at least in Italy, these are accepted as a truth. This is accepted truth. They're not the standard for career. So my feeling is that career is more a belief than a process at the moment. Yes, we have processes in place to manage career. We have career plan and so on. But at least career is a belief. And we have to consider it when we try to improve the way we manage career in our organization. It's not just a process. There is something more than that. So months ago, I was with a team. A person came to me and she told me, Luca, okay, you are telling us something new, something different, but this company is hiring the best people from the best university in Milan. In the same university, they teach us for years that a great career is becoming a great manager, to have the corporate ladder, to start managing more and more people. Now you are saying that this is not granted, or at least it's not easy anymore. That's very hard for us to accept. And this made me think to the concept of sunk cost. You know sunk cost? What sunk cost is? Any of you? It's a cognitive bias. Very easy example. You buy a very expensive pair of shoes, then you start wearing those shoes and you realize that they are really uncomfortable, really. What you do with those shoes? You keep wearing them because you paid a lot for them. A business example. It's really hard to abandon a product that you developed or you are developing, even if you are not achieving the business results you hope for, even if it's not working. Why? Because you invested a lot of time and money in developing that product, and you want to waste everything. You continue doing things, even if it's not working. Here we have something similar, but from a more personal point of view. We invested a lot of time in the university, a lot of money, very often from our families. We created a lot of expectation. Someone created a lot of expectation for us. It's really hard to abandon our idea of career, even if it's not working, even if we plan or hope for is not happening. But here is something different. Let's say that it's a sunk cost more at a cultural level, related to our belief, to our assumption. It's not a joke. That's why clarity, when we talk about career, is really important. Without clarity in the organization, the people will tend to focus on the wrong scenario or on what is directly conflicting against their belief. You can imagine the consequences. So what about the typical system, the promotion-based career system? There is a new vacancy because someone leaves the company or the business is growing, so I can get that position, that new job title. It's expectation-driven. I'm bored about my situation and I start raising my voice because I want that to change. The design of careers is almost standard. Yes, we all have our careers, but the option is very limited. The promotion itself is seen as a goal. I mean, I feel success only if I can get that promotion. And the movement usually in the same silos. Not very easy to break the barrier of silos, even for career. So if we want to change career or improve career, there are at least 3 things to consider. What we consider as important in our company for career or related to career. The way we try to improve career, I mean, if we talk about cooperation and clarity in our company as values, how we try to improve career, somewhere in HR at the 10th floor, and then after some time, months, many months typically, we release it to the whole organization. Let's say, good luck, there it is. I don't think so. And we at least need a shared language to describe what career is. One first important thing, I think that we need to agree on one first important thing, yeah. Career is a development journey. It's not a predetermined series of steps, or let's say different. If career would be the right thing, it would be a development journey. I know that to talk about development in career is not that easy. Development means a lot of different things in different companies. With development, I mean 4 things that we synthesize over time and 4 things that a person should feel. It's about professional growth, personal growth, recognition, and autonomy. Professional growth is about being able to do better things or more things in a better way. There is no single solution. It could be vertical and deep, or wider but less deep. So it's really about my T-shape, for example, about my impact on our product. Personal growth, it's about to be able to manage more difficult situation, more challenging situation, more stressful situation. It's about to be able to manage new experiences with that kind of flexibility and the adaptability that we talk about. It's about to learn and collect feedbacks about my behaviors and to adapt them accordingly. Then recognition, we are not islands, so we are surrounded by relationships. We cannot say that we developed if nothing changed around us. There is another word that I connect with recognition, that is influence. How many people look for my opinion? How many people look for my suggestion? What is my influence? That, if you agree with me, it's a big difference from how many people are below me. Then the last one, it's autonomy. It's kind of intertwined to the other 3. Autonomy that I take, autonomy that I receive or that I gain on the field. If you agree with this, we can say that there are things, events, that should stand on this scale. There are things that support my development. There are things that hinder my development. Something depends on us, on our choices. Something depends on our company's choices, on the context. I'm sure that if you think about your career path or your development journey, you can place your events, your experiences on this scale. And this is a very good exercise to do in a company, to start talking about career development, to start rephrasing the way we talk about career development in the company. So starting to understand what is supporting us, what is supporting my career development, what is hindering, and trying to find a shared language about this. There is a concept that is emerging, talking about career, and the new concept that I like very much is the employability. That means having the set of skill, knowledge, and understanding, and personal attributes that make a person more likely to choose and secure its occupation in which they can feel satisfaction and success. So, in a certain way, employability put a lot of emphasis in skill, even domain skill, lateral skills, our impact on the system. But if skill, knowledge, and personal attributes could be learned, trained, improved, what about satisfaction and success that are result like? How we can understand if you are going in that direction? It's like a performance. Performance, you can only understand it in the aftermath. How you can understand in the aftermath, or how you can understand it if you are going in the right direction? Well, in my opinion, the best way is by collecting experiences instead of positions in the organization. To expand your employability index, we call it this way, means to collect the experiences that let you understand if you are going in the right direction for your goals, for the goals of your organization, for your satisfaction, for your success and success of your organization. So it's not a matter of collecting new position, new job title, but a matter of collecting new experiences. How it looks like. It's still business driven. It's not no profit. Now it's ambition driven instead of expectation. The design of our career could be more customized. This won't happen overnight, but at least we start having good conversation on how to customize our career at personal level. Instead of promotion, here, development, as we've seen before, could be seen as the goal for the person. At this point, the movement to different systems is at least easier. What's the benefit? More safety, both for the company and the person. My employability is growing, and the employability of my employees is growing. That's a win-win solution, I think. Same thing for flexibility. In this way, we are working together to improve our flexibility in facing the new challenges of the market. And loyalty at this point is a result. It's no more a rigid bond that we try to create with our employees. I receive very often the question, what about the traditional career where people spend 20 years with loyalty in the same company? We cannot force it. We need to make it something emergent, try it. We said it's a journey, right? So who is the owner of this journey? First thing, if it's a journey, you should add value over time. There is another thing that should add value over time, and we should know it well if you are in Agile. There are projects, or even better product. A good product should add value over time. So as a product, maybe also a career should be developed, maybe by iteration or incrementally. So we could have a roadmap, epics, tasks. In Agile, we have a role, I'm sure you know it, that manages all this stuff. That's the product owner. So here maybe we could have a career owner, but pay attention, we are not the product. The product is the set of experiences that we could have in the organization. Who could be the best owner of this career? Personally, I think that the best owner is the person himself. And that's not a big change. In the traditional view, the owner of career is, let's say, someone in the organization, maybe the manager, maybe HR, we don't know. We waste a lot of effort in understanding who owns my career. That's a big change. You are the owner of your career. You are the owner of your development. Why? If we think about it, what happened in our companies, in our team, is very similar to what happened in the market. A product provides ideas, solutions, and values to a market that provides needs, expectations, and challenges. As we join a team or companies, it's almost the same thing. Our role provides ideas, solutions, and value, to a team or company that has needs, challenges, and expectations. But we know it. The best way to develop a product is to do it together with the customer. We continue repeating these things. We need to develop our products together with our customers. So the relationship that we need to look for, even for career, is a kind of partnership. We need to create a new partnership between the person and the organization. What does it mean? First, it means to work towards the same goal, trying to gain values. Let's say this. On the Y, it's value for the individual. On the X, value for the company. If you are there, that's profit. No value from the company, value only for me. Waste at personal level. Value for the company, no value for me. It is masochism. Only there we have partnership. So we are moving toward the same goal, getting value at the same time, both at personal level and at company level. That's the kind of partnership you want to create. That's a partnership we want to create with our customers, right? With our products. Okay. Who's responsible for success? In the traditional model, the company is responsible for development. An individual is responsible for success. Here, very often, we have a loop. How can I be responsible for success if you, company, or let's say HR, you are not able to give me the right development? Very good loop. In my view, everyone is HR, title of my talk today. The company is responsible to create options that are not new trainings or e-learnings. We are talking about to visualize and make visible and make possible to have that kind of experiences that we talk about. I'm responsible for my development. I'm the only person that really knows and understands what is needed at this moment for me and for my team and for the company. We are both responsible for success using that kind of partnership we are talking about. So what about approach in doing this? As I told you, this is not a recipe, but I'm sure that's a good, at least starting point in reducing the gap between agility and HR, at least reducing the distance between HR and the rest of the organization. I mean, my approach is really based on clarity and collaboration as a key elements to try to improve our careers. So what I do is usually starting with a workshop that I do both inside the companies or public workshop with different goals. A workshop obviously about career, right? The first one is to reduce the distance between HR and the rest of the organization, the people. The second one is to listen to the people, let them understand that what they think it's important for us. The other one is to collect different perspectives about career and try to integrate those different perspectives. Another one is to start talking with the people about career, something similar to what I'm doing with you today. Very often, career is kind of taboo in companies. We cannot talk about career because if you improve your career, maybe I'm losing something. No, let's talk about career. Let's collaborate about careers, not a taboo. Last one, these workshops are really useful also for HR in particular to understand the most important priorities. We cannot work on everything at the same time. Let's try to understand what is needed as a most important priority. How it works. The first step in this workshop is to work with the people involved to understand what could be development and success for you. How we can recognize them, how we could define them. So it's a phase of brainstorming and sharing different perspective on what is development success for us as a company, as a team. That's interesting because it's the first point when we can understand both similarities between us, common points, something we record, something will be more unique. That's a very good starting point understanding what is success for us, what is development for us. Some example development could be something to be more skilled, to be able to go out of my comfort zone, to try new experiments, or to be able to work with a mentor that is support me the right way at the right time. About success, it could be to be able to achieve my team goals or my company goals, to be able to create something valuable for our customers. Talking about success, someone talk about compensation, obviously, but usually is not the main thing. Why I think it's important to start from this point? Because as suggested by one of the principles of appraisal inquiry, what we do today is guided by our image of the future. So creating a shared image of what we think about success and development could be a really starting point that could help us in finding options and different solutions that allow us to move in that direction. Second step of the workshop. We create something like a customer journey, an employee journey related to their career. So try to make visible all the main steps, main events, main experiences, main roles even, from a personal perspective. This is really a moment about self-awareness. What happened so far in my career, maybe in my career in this company. And for the main steps, 1 or 2, an additional self-reflection. Why did you choose that role, that experience? What about your expectation? What worked well, what not? The next step is to a more systemic view. So we start talking about the relationship between me and the rest of the organization. The first part was more the beginning, sharing different perspectives, then a more personal part. Now, again, the relationship between myself and the rest of the organization. I told you about that scale, what is supporting me and what is hindering me. You remember it? Those arrow? So this is what I'm doing. Same thing, more expanded. What about the environment, the relationships, the behaviors that are supporting you or hinder you, the skills, the beliefs. This could be at personal level, my behaviors that are hindering me, or my colleagues' behaviors that are hindering me. It could be the environment. So what is supporting me today about my development, my career? At the center, we will have what is supporting us, and the other ring, what is hindering me. We facilitate this part through very powerful conversations. So we facilitate this point, providing the space, the right space, to cultivate very good conversation between the people. So we design conversation starters, as I call them, so powerful questions that I offer to the people to talk about those kind of things. And I'm super fascinated about the passion and the care that people invest in this kind of conversation. That are conversations that really change the perspective of what is happening today in the company. It's amazing. It's amazing. So it's not the radar, it's not the tool. That kind of conversation could be a really big change for the people in how we talk about and consider our career and our development. Then we synthesize and clusterize all the different information. We look for similarities and differences. That's a very important thing, both from a personal perspective to see that my view is not the only one, and for the company also. We now understand a little bit better what's the situation for our people talking about career development. So what's next for us? That's a very good starting point. This is a start of the workshop. The next one, I had different opportunities. The first thing is a portfolio of experiences. It's not very easy to, at the first time, to understand what an experience could be in our company. So we organize a different session with the same people or different people, it depends, or with the manager, maybe, to try to understand what are the experiences that are already available in our company. And I'm not talking about job titles. I'm talking about what are the interesting experiences that could be useful for professional growth, for personal growth, recognition, and autonomy. I'll give you an example. So, change in the current development team, joining one another, maybe with other technologies, other goals for the product. Or working with an international colleagues. If I'm an Italian developer, I could join another team or start collaborating in an international context. Working as an expert in organizational change. Start working in tutoring students and working with thesis. Or starting sharing knowledge in conference or inside the company. So you see all these are mapped in that 4 areas about development. And this could be a starting point to, it's not yet obviously, it's a good starting point to start a conversation about what are our experiences already available and useful in our organization, instead of job titles only and boxes in the org chart. Next one, very often career is related to performance appraisal. I mean, in performance appraisal, we have a moment, a conversation typically with the manager, where we talk about the goals, achievement, and so on, and also, if we have enough time, also about career. Very often in the workshop, we receive feedback about the importance of managers or mentors as an enabler for my development. So we started working on this, trying to improve the conversation we have in the companies. Starting the conversation we have in the companies between people, with the managers, with the mentors. So we developed kind of canvas that really tries to support mutual understanding between the people and mutual commitment between the people. You know, that partnership we talk about. So it's about my strengths, my improvements, my ambitions, the needs that I feel. What could be the new experiences that could be useful for me and for us? Then starting having a conversation about our mutual commitments between me and you and the manager. What about our partnership in doing this? And expected outcomes. The focus is not on the tool, it's not another HR tool. It's about the conversation. It's taking the right time, the right space to have the right conversation about career. So not just a conversation about my past 6 months, my past year, but start having a conversation where, as a person, I'm honored in having this in mind. All the way, it's not just 5 minutes per year. This is an enabler, a facilitator. It's not just another HR tool. As soon as you are able and used to have this kind of career conversation, get rid of the tool, doesn't matter. What about my learnings in this journey? Well, I talked about the concept of employability through new experiences, a kind of ownership through a new partnership between the person and the rest of the organization. I understand this is a big change. This won't happen overnight, but I think it's a really good opportunity to challenge many assumptions, many beliefs, to challenge many skills in HR, to challenge many barriers between HR and the rest of the organization. It's also a good opportunity to try new approaches. Yes, in HR, to be more effective, to respond to the pressure and the workload. Also new approaches to try to create that sense of development that crosses the entire organization. Only if we'll be able to think about a new kind of career, a new kind of career that requires something new from HR. So it's no more, this is HR, this is not HR, divided completely. Only if we'll be able to think about this kind of career will stop to be an impediment, and at that point we will be able to move towards that kind of personal and agility and company agility that we are looking for. Thank you very much.